The universe, the existence. The only things outside of Orbis are Anu and Padme, but it is due to their influence that it exists. As I mentioned last time we spoke, if you were to imagine two spheres slightly pressed against each other, the circular area between them is the Orbis, where the conflicting forces fight. Aetherius is the realm of gods, full of light, warmth, energy, and the source of all the magica. Oblivion is the realm of the Daedra, the spirits which did not partake in the creation of the world. Mundus is the realm of mortals. See, Mundus is a geocentric system. Our planet, Nirn, is quite literally the center of the universe. If we return to the allegory of the wheel, Mundus is the hub of the wheel, Aetherius would be the rim, and Oblivion the empty space between the spokes, and the 8 divines are the spokes that hold up the world. Their contribution of power maintains the stability of existence. The spokes connect the rim with the hub, representing Aedra's influence, reaching in Nirn from Aetherius, because they are inadvertently connected to the world. Now, look up. See the 2 moons? The bigger red one is Maser, sometimes also called Jode. The smaller one, white one, is Secunda, sometimes known as Joan. The moons circle around Nirn, while Nirn itself spins around its own axis. This rotation is what causes our night and day cycle. The sun and the stars, they're all the same thing. They only differ in size. Now let me explain. As the myth goes, when the world was made, and the Aedra became aware of Lorkhan's treachery, and their divinity absorbed into the creation, Magnus became overwhelmed with fear. A powerful Etada, Magnus was the architect of Mundus. While Lorkhan invented the concept, it was Magnus who designed it. In this crucial moment, when the Aedra's eagerness bore a bitter fruit, Magnus abandoned his project and fled back to Aetherius to avoid the fate of his brethren. As he did so, he tore a hole in the fabric of reality, and this tear, this portal, is the sun. His children, the Magna Gi, followed suit. Being spirits of lesser power than Magnus, they punched their own escape routes in the firmament, and those became the stars. One thing you need to understand is that Mundus is quite finite. It is but a small bubble of reality, surrounded by the expanse of Aetherius and Oblivion. See the emptiness, the blackness between the stars? That is Oblivion. This is how our mind perceives it. Perhaps God sees it different, but us, mortals, we can only comprehend so much of the terrifying space, so elusive to our minds. Lastly, we have the planets. They circle around Nirn, and the closest one to it is Kynareth, then Akatosh and Julianos. Stendarr orbits Julianos too, then Arche and Zenithar. The last one is orbited by Mara, and she in turn is orbited by Dibella. But those planets are not exactly that. A plane would be more fitting term for them. They are each of the 8 divines' own realm, same way the Daedric princes and their realms are one and the same. The planets are Aedra and the realm. Again, our minds can observe them as spherical objects. A clever observation would be that while Aetherius radiates light and warmth and energy, the Oblivion we see in our night sky is dark and cold, representing the duality of Anu and Padme. Now, this might be a good moment to bring up the constellations and the calendar. Tamrielic year is divided into 12 months. The morning star, the sun's dawn, the first seed, rain's hand, second seed, mid-year, sun's height, last seed, hearthfire, frostfall, sun's dusk, and evening star. Each month is then split into 4 weeks, each having 7 days. Mondas, Tedas, Middas, Thirdas, Fredas, Lordas, and Sondas. Each month has a patron constellation assigned to it, and these signs affect those born under them. They only influence people, mind you. People born under the sign of a mage will not all become wizards. The constellation will only grant them proficiency in the arcane, talent for spells, or a great mind to memorize the knowledge, but it does not decide your fate. It does not set your destiny. These are the constellations and their effects as researched by the Imperial University. Morning Star, the ritual. This is the only star sign that does not have consistent booms. It seems that it can grant a variety of abilities. Usually the ritual is represented as an eye, and the druidic folks of High Rock, Sistries, and the Reach venerate the ritual above all other signs and have built megalithic structures to show for it. Sun's dawn, the lover, grants its subjects nimbleness and agility, while making them passionate and full of grace. First seed, the Lord. To those born under his watch, he bestows health and strength. The Khajiit claim it has connection to Alkosh or Akatosh. Rain's hand, mage. Also known as the sage or a witch. Those who are born within his month have an aptitude to harness the magical energies, and also have a reputation of being arrogant and distant. The planet Julianus makes the eye of the mage, and the constellation itself is in charge of protecting other magically inclined star signs, the Ritual, the Atronach, and the Apprentice. Second seed, Shadow. People born under his influence have the talent to be unseen, to blend in their environment and hide in the shadows. Mid-year, Steed. It makes all born in this month faster, but those people often have the reputation of being very impatient. Sun's height, the Apprentice. Bestows talent for spellcasting to those born in this time, allowing people to cast more spells before facing exhaustion, but at a price, for they are also more vulnerable to magic. Last seed, the Warrior. This sign gifts people with fighting prowess, them having increased strength and endurance while also being short-tempered. The planet Akatosh marks the Eye of the Warrior. It is in charge of protecting the constellation of the Lord, the Lady, and the Steed. Hearthfire, Lady. Influences people to be kind and compassionate, elegant and patient. Frostfall, the Tower. People born in this month have the skills of opening locks and have acute eyesight, allowing them to find gold where none other would see it. Sun's Dusk, the Atronach. People born in his grasp have a higher pulse of magicka, but cannot regenerate it naturally. They are also more resistant to magical attacks, and can sometimes fully absorb hostile spells cast at them. Evening Star, Thief. The planet Arcais stands for the Eye of the Thief. This constellation imbues its people with agility, speed, and luck, necessary for narrow escapes, for they are more likely to take risks. The thief is in charge of protecting the lover, the shadow, and the tower. But the main constellation, you may ask, from whom do they protect their charges? From the last constellation, one that has no month, is cast out and slithers through the night sky to hinder the other star signs, the Serpent. The Serpent moves throughout the firmament, harassing other constellations, and it is the warrior, the mage, and the thief that stand in his way, protecting other star signs from the snake. If the Serpent is near any other constellations, its presence suppresses the influence of that star sign, and instead, people born in this month will have the ability to cause physical harm to others with their touch. Now for the Nirn itself, the records and tales of what it was like in its youth are long lost to ages past. The few scraps of information that have survived describe it as all landmass with inner seas, but no oceans. The First War has sunken most land. The Nirn as we know it is mainly covered with water with several continents. Our home, of course, our beloved Tamriel. Do you know what its name means? In the language of the Aldmer, it means Dawn's beauty, and the language of the Elnafey, it translates to Starry Heart. A fitting name, indeed. Tamriel is surrounded by water. In the west, the Etheric Ocean with remnants of Yokuda beyond. In the east and south is the Padomaic Ocean with mysterious Akavir beyond the western horizon. In the north, the Sea of Ghosts separates Tamriel from ancient and frozen Atmora. For now, the night grows late. Our fire cold and the moons hang low above us. Godspeed, traveler.